Hey there, guys. So obviously we've done a few of these interviews now, and now I am absolutely lucky and privileged enough to be interviewing and having a chat with the amazing Mark Postles. Mark, welcome.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks, Sam.
So look, obviously most of the Australian chiros should know how awesome you are, and there's when they talk about standing on the shoulders of giants, you are probably one of the biggest giants here in Australia. But I know that, and I've known you for quite a few years now. But for those that maybe don't know you, because I've been living in a hole for a bit of while, can you let us know a bit about your story, where you practice, or where you've been working, when you graduated, what you do, all that kind of stuff?
Sure. Well, firstly, I'd refute that first statement in terms of being a giant. I think, no more of a giant than anyone. Everyone has their own giant within them. So, for me, I just do my thing and sort of plant seeds, and many seeds grow from that. Some don't. I guess maybe if I backward engineer it, I'm currently involved in the ACC initiative, and we've been getting that over the line as far as a vitalistically integrated chiropractic college in Australia, and modelled on the New Zealand College, of which I'm on the board there as well. So I have been since 2001. So that was
a giant. You do so much for our profession. So kick up.
But that was when New Zealand College was on its knees, and we were counting paper clips, and it was pretty dire situation at that point in time. And Brian Kelly and I went on the board at that point, and the rest is history. So it's been a really fulfilling process to put chiropractic into an institutional model, because too often it is fantastic for individuals who get out there and get it and run it and flow it and so forth, but it's not necessarily really well formatted in terms of integration of chiropractic within all the sciences and techniques and so forth. So that's been the endeavour in New Zealand, and it's also the endeavour now for ACC to bring a congruent chiropractic model to the forefront, which is infused with philosophy, and that's the key in my opinion. Everything flows from philosophy. The science flows from philosophy, your technique and art and communication, your politics, your marketing, it all flows from philosophy. So it's really critical to be defined on one's philosophy and know where you're going, what you're about, and so forth. And I guess I was fortunate in that as a 19-year-old, I was searching the world for my journey and where I was going to go and what I was going to do, and ended up I never knew about chiropractic. I ended up with a couple of guys in Vancouver, Canada, and they told me all about chiropractic one night over a few beers. And right there, and
were you living at the time, or were you over there already studying?
I was traveling. I was hitchhiking. I hitchhiked around the world, around Europe, and earned money in WA. Because I'm originally from New Zealand, but earned money in WA to get on a ship to get to Europe, to get to experience that, and then lived in London for a bit, and then went across to the States and Canada. And so I was about 20 by then. Left when I was 19.
Before can I cut you off there? So can I, just to be cheeky, if and when you write a book, you could call it The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Chiropractic World?
Yeah, well, it's the innate journey.
What you've achieved since then has been pretty profound. Even when you're saying about New Zealand College, then we had Katie on here a little while ago, and she was saying that some of the stats that those students are doing at that school is profound, from how many kids they're seeing in practice compared to the Australian stuff. And to have one of those colleges here, I know there's been uproar about yes, no, whatever else, but it's keep going. Sorry to cut you off. Then I thought I'd better make some comment.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Because the point I want to make on this is that on that night in that hotel called Gassy Jacks in Gastown, Vancouver, I made a decision. I had a pivotal point and a cognition that had shifted my reality. It shifted everything, and it was like things just came into alignment. It was like, hey, this is wonderful power within, and we're connected to some sort of order. And it allows us that power within allows us to be to and have whatever we put our mind to. We have this incredible power, and society has a habit, and you look right back through the history of mankind, society has a habit of stripping that away. and denying it, and overruling it and controlling it, and suppressing it, and there's nothing different. I mean, it's, you look back through the different generations of regimes have come and gone. There's that comes to the surface, and then it gets leveled again, and there's a revolution, and then sort of builds up again, and power concentrates in certain areas. So anyway, that was my epiphany, that's like, bloody hell, this is amazing, and there's actually a profession that does this, and it's called chiropractic, and that was the first time I'd heard of it. So that began my journey, and seeking that out. I had to travel around the world. It took me about 18 months to get to chiropractic college, ticking all the boxes, getting the money together and so forth. But I was determined. It was just, and I'd never been adjusted. I'd never been adjusted when I got to chiropractic college. So it was, but I was there because of the philosophy. I was there because I knew that this resonated with me. And whatever I did, and I guess for me, it was like, I always had a mantra right from that day one. I don't know what this chiro thing is, but it sits with me. It sits right. It just resonates. And if I can benefit one person by being a chiropractor, then it's all been worthwhile. And that's always been my mantra. I don't care if I give a pre-care class or healthcare class to one person. I don't care if one person turns up the day. As long as there's one person there, I get a chance to do what I do. So so it's sort of it's been an overriding philosophy, I guess.
What's interesting about what you're saying then is you travel the world. You spent 18 months to try and find a way to start chiropractic. That would have been many years ago, probably before my time on the planet even. But we've been living in Europe, and I knew you from the old DG days. And when we're living in Europe, I think I saw you at every seminar that I went to, other side of the world. I just got on the phone to you before, and you said, "I've just come back from being in the UK," and you're wearing a Cow Jam shirt, and obviously you've been to seminars at the Gathering last year with Brad Atkinson. And it's like every seminar I go to, you seem to be there. And the thing I love about that is you're always learning. You're always giving back. You've pretty much been the core, I believe, in maintaining the vitalistic premise here in Australia. And what I'd love to kind of touch on now is, obviously, we're having the seminar, the IN8 Summit, on the 3rd and 4th of August this year. You have got so much knowledge. I know that you're involved with Quest Coaching. You've got a beautiful few kids that are involved with chiropractic. And you're heavily involved with New Zealand College, the ACC starting. Like, the list goes on. And also you had your own practice. I mean, I don't want to kind of spend too much time on this video because you're going to be talking on stage. But I do want to ask the question. Obviously, right now it's a bit of interesting times. I think exciting times to be a chiropractor, especially with some of the things with what APRA's doing right now, and with some of the genuine experience we have coming to the IN8 Summit this year, with yourself, with Lou Coletto, with Chuck Ribley, some of the amount of experience in just you three alone, plus the other guys speaking. I mean, would it be fair to say that chiropractic has been going through this for a number of years, or just an isolated moment in time? What are your thoughts about that?
It's been an ongoing, really it comes down to a bit, it's a turf war. Now, it's a turf war for the public's mind.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, sure, there's money and stuff involved, but it's a turf war for a philosophy. And I think we've had our little bright spots where we've stepped forward and gone onto the front foot, but for the most part, chiropractors suffer from an inferiority complex, and we tend to, go onto the back foot and try and appease, and we back off these battles. So it's just a turf war. It's simply, one group wants to take over another group. And we've had a history of fighting back, and as long as we are separate and distinct in terms of our own identity, it doesn't mean we disregard other professions. We interact with other professions, but we're separate and distinct in our own right. And part of that is having our own language. It's having our own identity, and it's unique. It is unique, and the IN8 Summit is obviously named for that purpose. It's that innate wisdom within, and it's interesting. I wrote the IN8 model book, which is 11, 12 years ago, on the same thing. It's just like, this is inborn. It's innate. The 8 is infinity. It's there forever, and it builds on itself. So it's so cool to see this renewed interest in it, and it's in that inborn wisdom. And it's not just coming from the chiropractic tenets. I mean, it's always been in the chiropractic tenets, but it's coming from the highest levels of science now. We're starting to see the confirmation of what we've been saying for the last 120 odd years is coming out in science. So it's like, wow, consciousness is, we're just bathed in the sea of consciousness, and we are part of that. So it's really cool. I mean, it's a great time to be alive, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And there are people who are falling by the wayside, shriveling, making themselves smaller, putting their heads in, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
The funny thing you're saying about that is that it definitely doesn't have to be. And we've got some of the there's some people that are obviously going back into their shell and scared right now, and the other guys that are literally taking the bull by the horns and getting on the front foot. And I've heard of 4 practices from the IN8 Summit last year that have doubled their practice. And whatever they started with, they've doubled in apparently the hardest time to grow a practice. And even when I came back from Europe, I was saying, everyone said, don't start a practice, Sam. We've got to buy one. It's impossible to grow a practice here. And it's like, you know what? The public desperately wants it. And we're only seeing 9 or I think 11% of the population of Australians are seeing chiropractors right now. And that innate message is really desperately want. The public doesn't want that bullcrap out in the community that they're kind of getting. So they get it. They know it. And I think for you've been through the number of ups and downs. This is another another little down we're going through. I think the students would be able to hear you on stage to know that, look, guys, this is 2019. Yes, it's a bit of a troublesome year, but we had one 5 years ago, one 10 years ago, one 13 years ago, one 60 years ago. And so that's why I can't wait to have your kind of experience on stage saying we're going to ride the ship out and also put the gloves on and have some fun. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I remember I think it was about 1978. I was only out. I graduated in 75. And the Hamer government put a bill forward to limit chiropractic to 12 years and older. But we fought it. We rallied our people. We petitioned the politicians, and it all died. Nothing more was heard. It didn't get through. So we've done it before in Victoria, but it takes a proactive stance. And I'd urge anyone who is in Australia watching this to hammer the politicians, but do it with votes. Do it with your practice members who have had amazing experiences through chiropractic, who've brought their kids up with chiropractic, and aren't willing to put up with this sort of rubbish.
Yeah, good idea. Well, I think it's a bloody good idea. And you're giving me something to do right now, or I'm about kind of live on this call right now, but I'm going to work my butt off. I've been doing the posting, but I'll kind of put a claim out there to all the chiropractors that are watching this that are going to come to the IN8 Summit. I'll do my best in the next 4 months to get some politicians to even come to the IN8 Summit this year to kind of hear the story. So we've already tried, but if you're hearing this now, we'll be doing our best to get some there to hear our side of the coin, because our side, is what we believe in. So, hey, look, before we wrap it up, I want to ask a question I've asked to most of the guys that I've done a pre-interview with, and a lot of people last year and the year before were we asked them what they wanted from our speakers, and there was a unanimous amount of people that wanted to understand more about retention, understand more around how to attract new clients, and also how to speak the message. And there's no one better than yourself at doing that. You've shown, for many years now. How would you be seeing that you might be answering some of those questions and some of the things you'll be saying on stage this year?
Okay. Well, obviously, as I said before, philosophy is the driver. So, you've got to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You've got to have a really clear position. And it's not about ramming it down people's throat. It's not even about being able to tell people. It oozes from you. And it's beyond you. It's within you and beyond you. So it emanates. As far as lack and paucity makes a person want to get new patients and wants to retain them, and both of those are not on my agenda. That there is an attraction factor, right? And if attraction is there, people stay. But and as I said before, languaging is critical, because if you are looking for new patients, you're going to be looking for people who basically are an ambulance chaser. You're looking for people who have a need of a healthcare nature that fits the title of patient. So they'll be in for that, but then they'll leave because a patient doesn't stay. That's immoral and it's unethical to see a patient over a long term. Because a patient is a person who seeks medical care by definition of the dictionary. Sure. So then retention is holding on. I mean, who wants retention? Who wants fluid retention, anal retention? It's like holding on. It's struggle. It's crazy. It's trying to stop people from leaving. It's putting your foot on the door, or whatever. It's not the approach. It's about being attractive. It's a bee doesn't try and retain, or at least a flower doesn't try and retain a bee. It makes it attractive by putting out sweet stuff for the bee to come in and feed on, and so the bee keeps coming back.
Yeah.
So just look to nature for this, and then communication, I said before, is not words. Well, words is like 7%, but words are not the sum total of communication. It's your behavioural facilities. Be your brand. Be what you say, and that's what communicates. People pick up on that, and so it's about it's not even worrying about new people and retention, not even worrying about your practice members, so to speak. It's about how are you showing up, how are you as an individual.
Yeah,
and that's the key.
Tell you what, Mark, you're an absolute genius. Like, I've done probably 5 or 6 of these so far, and what I'm excited about having you on stage is because you just taught me a pretty big lesson then, and just the simple words that I use and how I interact with my own clients. And I mean, that example about the bee and being attractive rather than retaining. And as you said, no one wants fluid retention, but everyone wants to be attractive. So look, I'm so excited. That would have been obviously quite counterintuitive for some of our listeners right now to hear that. And before giving away too much of your magic, I want to try and keep some for the stage. So look, we can't wait to have you here. You're obviously a powerhouse in Australia, and I even though you don't see you being a giant, I can see you as one of my giants, one of my mentors, and people I look up to. So I can't wait to have you at the seminar this year. Thank you so much for all you're doing with the ACC and what you have been doing over the last umpteen years. I'm even since 1975. So look, we're going to see you in August. Thank you so much for being and doing all that you're doing, and we can't wait to have you on stage. You're going to be coming on the Saturday and also probably the Friday night as well with a bit of our private session, but I'll let everyone know about that through Facebook. So your wisdom is going to be on stage and being around our seminar for 3 days. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you so much for all that you do too. It's awesome. It's really, really cool. It's so nice to know that there's people now like you taking the mantle and carrying it forward, because it's, that's what it's about. It's, that you will allow the chiropractic message to perpetuate, and it's long after I've gone. So, thank you.
Well, thank you. Anyway, we'll see you very soon, and see you guys. Stay tuned for next preview interview, and and get your tickets very soon. This end of this month, things do run out, and the prices go up by about $60 at the end of this month. So get them before the June. Get them before the end of March, early April.